guys, before the video starts, just want to address the fact that I've apparently surpassed 500 subscribers lately. Wow. Didn't know that was coming, because I didn't even know I was approaching 500 until I noticed that it happened. So thank you guys all for being so awesome and subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the content. I guess you are, since you're, subscribing. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. And now, on to the video. Hello everybody, my name is TechReal, and welcome to another episode of Blue's Clues News. Now, you may look at the title and wonder, what does flood of news mean? Well, let me tell you. You see, news has kind of been coming in from everywhere, left, right, and all around. In fact, the day after the previous Blue's Clues News episode aired, or premiered, or whatever you want to call it, the day immediately after, there was already enough news for a new episode, so, yeah. Oh, and also, we have 12 things to talk about today, so, oof. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad. Most of the things are pretty small, and even the big stuff, I've mostly talked about everything I wanted to talk about, or could talk about in the previous episodes with the previous clips, so there's not too much to really say, but, either way, there's still a lot to get through, so let's get started. First off, we have a little behind-the-scenes shot posted by Angela herself, where Josh seems to be holding something, but not really. It looks like it should be the handy-dandy notebook phone, but, I mean, we know that that's not actually animated, because, he's held it before. But what else could he be holding? That's the question. As for the answer, I don't know. So, there we go. Next we have something that I'm not even sure is technically really from the show, or, attached to it, but we have this post from an account named Zoo Buffalo showing off 3 photos, or, pictures, of Blue and Magenta together, sort of hinting at Magenta's coming over. Again, I'm not entirely sure if this is officially official, but they're very cute, and again, it sort of hints at that remake episode more and more. So, moving on. Next, we have a post from Vanderwerf Talent showing off some of the child voice actors coming up on the show. Leo Orgel as Shovel, Jacob Soli as Slippery Soap, and, as we mentioned last time, Ava Augustin as Tickety Talk. They also mentioned that we should keep an ear open for the children known as Mia Swaminathan, Nicholas Fry, and Hazel Gabriels. They'll either be playing characters on the show, or maybe being the voice of the kids who shout out the answers to Josh. So, guess we'll have to listen for them. I don't really know what they sound like, so I don't know how to do that, but I'll just assume. Next, we find something very interesting in the background of this photo from Angela, where we see Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, and 2 new little babies, which I assume are Sage and Ginger. It's a bit hard to make out the details from here, although from the little I can see, it seems that it matches up with something I found over at the Blue's Clues and New wiki. You see, a little while ago, they posted this picture showing off that this could be Sage and Ginger, though it was hard at the time to decipher if this was actually true or if this was just some sort of a weird hoax, but it seems like these might actually be the official designs for the new kids. Or babies, the twins. Honestly, I really love the designs. Very matching to the show, very different from Shakers, as they have corks, but I guess given what they are, it kind of makes a little bit more sense than Shakers. But it's a really cute design. They look adorable, and I can't wait to see them in the actual show. Next, we have this post from the Rockfather with some sort of a case and disc situation here, who says he has seen the first episode of Blue's Clues New. It seems like this may be some sort of like an early press thing. I don't know how he got this, but yeah, apparently this guy has seen the first episode, and according to this post, seems like it went pretty well and that he liked it, so that's encouraging. Don't really know what else to say. I don't know where he got this, although I'll freaking pay him for it. Don't quote me on that. I got snow monies. But yeah, that's about it for that one. Next, we go somewhere where we haven't been with the news before, Tumblr, on an account known as Kindergarten 2002, where was posted this image of packaging with some Blue's Clues and New designs. Supposedly, the person who sent this image to them said that they're a reporter who works with, and reviews things before they get out to the general public. I don't really know what this packaging would be for, or if it's something that's like just press related, or if it's anything we'll ever see or, receive ourselves as fans and watchers, unless it's some sort of toy packaging or something along those lines. But it's very interesting. It's really nice to see all these little, 2D versions of the designs. It looks really cute. Speaking of things that we might not ever receive ourselves and are just for the press and such, we have this Instagram story from an account known as Asian American Life, where they show off this sort of cardboard version of the Blue's Clues house, the new Blue's Clues house, I may add, that opens up and shows off some interesting stuff. There's a quick thing on the flap to the left that you can't really, make out the entire dialogue, but the top says that your friends are back, referring to the Blue's Clues characters. You open both flaps and you see a big ol' image of Blue and Josh and the rest of the members of the house, as well as some sort of Blue's Clues paw print keychain. Again, though, unfortunately, we're probably not ever going to get anything like this. This is most likely something made for the crew or, just for the press. It's probably more of a promotional thing than anything that's ever going to actually be sold as a product, unfortunately, because I want one so bad. But oh well. Next, we have a fun little announcement over on Nick Alive's blog, where we finally see the release date for the show coming out on Vudu. In case you've forgotten, 3 episodes of Blue's Clues New will be coming out on the service known as Vudu earlier than the actual premiere of the show. The official date they're coming out, according to this article, is Friday, September 27th, 2019, which is actually 10 days away from the time I'm currently recording this. So, to be clear, we're going to be getting Blue's Clues and You on the service, at least the first 3 episodes, a little over a month before the actual show premieres. So, for anyone who has or plans to get Vudu, this is pretty awesome. The fact that it's coming so soon also might explain all the very, very spoilery clips we've been getting. I mean, logically, it makes the most sense to advertise based on the actual premiere date, of the airing on TV, but we've been getting a lot of news lately, a lot of flooding news as of just even this past week, and it seems to sort of coincide with the fact that the show is going to be coming on Vudu very soon, so maybe the reason we've been getting more and more spoilery clips for at least 3 episodes is going to be because those 3 episodes are coming out on Vudu early anyways, so they're like, let's spoil the crap out of these. They're going to be the first 3 anyway, so, this is just sort of like the test 3. These are the ones that are just going to be everywhere, and the rest are going to be, the big stuff. The new stuff, hopefully, other than just remakes. So, yeah, it's something to think about. And next up, we start with the videos, because, as always, we get a bunch of video clips, and today, we have 4, so let's get to it. The first video is called Surprise Eggs Bath Bomb Fizzer Fun. Here we get a very short clip from Snack Time, or Meet Josh, where he first says that it is snack time, and then he goes to find Blue, who is hiding underneath the table. Don't tell her I gave away her spot. Josh finds her, and that's the entire clip. What do I even say? That was the entire clip. Yeah, moving on. The next video is called Junior Dress Up with the Mighty Twins and Blue, and we get another clip from Snack Time, but this time it is at the tail end of the episode, aka the ending. We open up on Josh figuring out Blue's Clues, we already know the answer. We've seen the beginning and the middle and the end of this episode. We've seen the entire episode, basically. What the heck? Anyways, we see him figure it out, and may I notice that the frames are kinda low. Is that just me? I don't think so. They're low. He says he's gonna get Blue milk in a cup, and she can drink it with a straw with her snack, and they go over to the snack table, where on the way, while Josh is getting her milk, Blue sings a little ditty, which goes as such. She could just be sort of, singing a random song or singing the theme song, because it does sort of sound like it, but someone over on my server had theorized that that song that she's singing might actually be the new version of We Just Figured Out Blue's Clues, which does kind of line up, because the syllables that she's singing does sort of line up with We Just Figured Out Blue's Clues, but in that song structure, or that tune. Something else to notice is that the orange frame is showing the milk version of the frame that we saw in the last episode of Blue's Clues News, which I theorized would be from episode 2, and I still think that that could happen based on the fact that this clip is the end of snack time, whereas the clip that also showed that frame was at the beginning of a game of Blue's Clues, so it still could be a reshoot sort of situation, but I'm thinking it's the next episode, because otherwise it'd kind of be a spoiler for later in that same episode that, you know, it'd be milk. So, yeah. Josh gets Blue the milk, and as she is sipping it and enjoying her snack, literally every single person in the world comes to join her for a snack party. Maybe not literally everyone, but quite a few everyones, like literally all the people. Because apparently none of them can ever let her snack alone. Because, I don't know, personal space doesn't exist. And this shot basically lines up with the shots that we saw in a previous video where we saw all the friends over at the snack table. So again, we've gotten the entire episode. Other than some little middle bits, we've gotten the entire episode of Snack Time. I don't know how to feel about that, spoiler-wise, but nah. The next video is over on the Nick Jr. site, and it is called Spin the Wheel of Friends, and oddly enough, this video was listed under the Bubble Guppies section of the thing, the site. Yes, I know words. It was listed there despite having, you know, clips from many shows, so, yeah, I don't know, figure that one out yourself. And, we get an interesting little clip from, guess which one it is? It's Snack Time, because we're literally getting all of Snack Time through promos and videos and clips and such. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but here we are. Here we are. This clip hits you right in the nostalgia as Steve and Joe help along Josh with how to play Blue's Clues, sort of walking him through the How to Play Blue's Clues song, which means that the version that we got from last week is not going to be in the very first episode and will probably be shown from, you know, then on, from episode 2 continuing. Two things to note about this little clip. One is that Blue is actually showing her paw print instead of just her paw when they mention the word paw print in the song, as opposed to the video from last week during the How to Play Blue's Clues song where she didn't. Is this to say that maybe that video was wrong and that she'll be showing her paw print during the song in future episodes? I don't know. Hopefully. I'd really like to think that that's what it means, but at least we know that for now, it is at least happening in episode 1. The other thing to mention is that, as you can see in this clip, Josh is talking to Steve and Joe again, which means that he has now called them 2 times during the course of this episode so far, as in the original clip with the Steve and Joe call, he hung up. So, this brings up the question of, will they be popping up a lot during this episode in various phone calls, you know, sort of having, you know, Josh call them to check on a thing, maybe be like, oh, is this a clue? I forget, or, you know, other things of that nature. So, that's a definite possibility. It'd be really cool to see Steve and Joe actually walk him through the entire episode and maybe even get another call at the end, something along those lines. It'd be nice. And it would definitely give us sort of like the Joe trilogy of how, you know, Steve introduced him to the game, so it'd give that same sort of effect of them walking him through his first full episode of playing Blue's Clues. So, we'll have to wait and see if that happens. And last but not least, the final clip of today is called New Series Blue's Clues and You, Josh is a Clue plus Skidoo with Shovel and Pail. That is a mouthful. This video confirms previous suspicions that Magenta Comes Over is in fact going to be remade. We start out with Josh trying to find Blue, and on his way, he finds a mirror, looks into it, and that's when we discover that Josh, as the title implies, is in fact a clue. This, of course, mirrors the shot from the original episode, but instead of the mirror showing the clue on his back as he walks by, the mirror sort of more serves the purpose of him looking in a different direction so you can see the clue on his back in real person form, if that made any sense at all. I mean, personally, I would have preferred the first way because I thought that was a bit more clever, but just, differences happen, and it still works just fine, so, opinions. Josh discovers the fact that he is a clue in the most wonderful, beautifully made freakout I've ever seen in my life. It is just, I don't know how to describe, it's just so perfect. The way he freaks out over, the way he geeks out, specifically over being a clue, is just, it's just, perfect. It's the best. He draws the clue and then moves over to the picture frame where we find something a little strange. First thing to note is that the picture-in-the-picture frame is the one that we saw in the previous video, the sort of promo video before the Blue's birthday clip, so we now know what that's from. It is in fact from Magenta Comes Over. And the next thing to note is that Shovel and Pail are there, and they're who we skidoo to for an activity. That is of course weird because of the fact that they've never really skidooed to a main character before. They've, of course, skidooed with main characters before, other than Blue, but they've never really skidooed to a place that a main character is already at. Unless I am wrong, this could have definitely happened before and I just don't remember, but if it did happen, it was very, very rare. There's no real problem with this per se. I mean, it's not like Shovel and Pail now live at the playground, at least I hope that's not the case, but it's most likely just a little fun thing that they decide to do instead of, just go into the backyard. Why? I don't know, but it works just fine. Josh skidoos, and that is of note because of the fact that there is a completely new effect for his skidoo, which what? Yes, after several videos of getting the same sparkly effect, we get a completely different effect, which is very light-based and has a lot of swirls, and it's not bad, ? Okay, it really isn't that bad. It actually is pretty cool. Maybe a bit unnecessary how big of an effect it is. The question is this now the skidoo effect? Is this the new skidoo effect of the show? Or is it actually the sparkly one and this one's the outlier? It's really kind of hard to tell. I'm inclined to say that this might be the new one because it's part of the new clip, but depending on when these little bits were finished, this could have been the old version, and the sparkly one that we've been seeing a lot of is the actual new finished version. Personally, I do prefer the sparkly one, if I'm to be honest, because even though it was a little bit weird at first, it seems more fitting than this effect to me personally, even though it does sort of fit the vibe given the many swirls, as swirls are a big part of the show, oddly enough. But yeah, I don't think it could be the fact that skidoos just sort of change pattern or change style, with different places that they skidoo to, because that would just personally make no sense. It's probably going to be one or the other. Which one it'll be, I have no idea yet. It's really hard to tell, but I guess we just have to wait and cross our fingers for which one we prefer. We get to the playground, and with Shovel and Pail, we look for footprints, just like in the original episode. We first find an adorable little duck, and then we move on to our very good friend, the sneaky snail. That's about it for the actual content of the scene, except for two little fun facts both in the same shot, specifically this shot. Fun fact 1 would be way in the background where you can see a windmill. A very familiar windmill, you may notice, as it is the exact one from the farm in Snack Time. So it would seem that the farm and this playground are not too far apart, meaning that we have only so far skidooed to places that are in the same world, or I guess possibly the real world? Or rather the real world of Blue's Clues. It feels like sort of the start of some sort of pattern, although I feel like it's pretty unlikely that all the skidoos are going to be in the, same Blue's Clues world as opposed to all the other interesting places that we've skidooed in the past, so it's probably just, coincidence. Because otherwise, I feel like skidoos are going to get really boring really fast, because we've skidooed in some really interesting places, and a farm and a playground and whatever else that, is just in the real world probably doesn't really, stand up to that. Oh, and the present store as well, which we know is in the same neighborhood as, forgot to mention that one. Anyways, the other little thing to notice, which is just a small sort of graphics animation, weird choice error, is that in the picture frame, on the tree while they're at the playground, the picture frame inside that picture frame, the picture that's in that one, is the wrong picture. Logically, it should be, the playground, because that's what's in the frame on this given day, but if you look really closely, it's actually the same picture frame from the original crew photo from way back when, at the beginning of Blue's Clues News. So, I think this is probably just sort of like a temporary thing that was in this clip, because maybe at this point in, making the episode, they weren't sure exactly what would be in the frame yet, so they needed something to put there in the meantime. But yeah, hopefully that is fixed before the actual episode airs. Also, another thing that should probably also be fixed is the fact that as they skidoo back, Mailbox kind of disappears again, after being there in the beginning of the clip. So, yeah, you really gotta get your mailbox placement in order. He can't just keep popping in and out whenever he pleases, so yeah, it's creepy. He needs to stop. So yeah, that is about it for that clip, and that is it for all the news for today. As usual, overall, it all looks really good. I'm really excited for the show to come out, and I'm excited to see it on Vudu on the 27th, as it apparently is. Before I go, I'd just like to give another quick shout out, as always, to the peeps over at the Blues Clues News server, who are awesome and always help me find all of this amazing news. So as always, thank you guys so much, you are the best. That's it for now, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.